And hello, everybody. Welcome to This Week in RC. I'm your host, Scotty Ernst. And it's our little look back at the week that was in racing, what's going on, what's happening currently, and what the future has in store for us. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. I know there was a bunch of racing going on. We were busy here in Wisconsin doing some drag racing, and there was some off-road racing going on and a bunch of other racing around the region and the world. And just a chance for us to look back and chat about it. We got cool special guest coming up. Charlie Suangka is going to be chiming in here in just a little bit. Charlie and I go way, way back. We've been friends for probably longer than we want to admit, but it's going to be cool to have him online and joining us. Just talk about his life in racing. He's been working at Hobbywing for a long time. And it's going to be interesting to hear his take on things. He was just over at Axial Fest. So I know Axial Fest is a big, big deal for a lot of people. I've never had a chance to be there, so I'm interested to hear what Charlie has to say and get his take on it, because I think he went to both of them. There was one in Indiana, and then there was one out in the West Coast. The West Coast is where it's always been through the years, but I think he went to both of them, so we'll find that out. Charlie's big into drone racing and all the drone life, so he's got the ins and outs about that. So we got a lot to cover today and talk about and find out what's all that's going on in RC. So make sure you chime in and say hi in our chat rooms here. Hopefully everything is working. Kind of my first time here with the this whole broadcast, everything. The Wolfman, Rob Mulvaney. The Wolfman, UTQ in the chat room on our first. This is my first official show here, so Wolfman, how are you? It's good to have you. Jason Thompson, yeah, long time no talk. Weren't we just texting Jason there a few minutes ago? So we're trying to do this whole thing with the stream. So hopefully if you're on Facebook and YouTube, we're trying to do this YouTube thing. So please, everybody, go to YouTube, click the subscribe. You know, all the things you hate people saying, please do, because, you know, I want to try to build up this thing to have weekly chats and interviews with racers and personalities in the RC world, and again, look back at the racing that we had. So we get to say hey to everybody. Jose Garay, how are you? Good to have you follow along. Chris Draper, how are you? Good morning. Good to have you follow along. But again, go to the YouTube page and then click subscribe, because we need to get the links and everything up for that. So please do that. Good to have you guys following along and chiming in. And we are, looks like in the waiting room here. In the green room is Charlie, and I think he is ready to go here. So I think we are going to bring in the one and only Charlie Suangka, ladies and gentlemen. That's Charlie,
Hello,
ladies
everyone.
and gentlemen. Yay!
Good to see you all. Good to be seeing you.
What's up, Charlie? How are you?
Marvelous. Happy Tuesday, Scotty.
Oh boy, is the volume working? I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Charlie,
We have technical
can you hear me
difficulties.
okay?
I can hear you just fine.
You can hear. I don't know. Can you guys hear Charlie? Looks like everything's turned up. Maybe it's on my end. I don't know.
My
Wolfman,
green line
can you
says
hear Charlie?
it's working. Huh? Is that better? And to clarify, it's Charlie and Scotty, not Scotty and Charlie.
I'm a rookie. I'm a failure. I know this. There, as we try to get this audio all working and everything. Yeah, you guys can hear him, so it's on me. I can't hear him. Interesting.
He's got his Charlie auto-tune super muting going on already. He never listens to me, so now he can blame his technology for not listening to me. So that's good.
Oh well, live.
But the people can hear me. Chris Gary,
this all set up earlier, but
Draper can hear me. Scott Schultz can hear me. Jason Thompson can hear me. Shane can hear me. Josh can hear me. Everybody but Scotty. I like it. He's gonna plug it in.
Yeah, nothing.
It was working before. We tested this and it worked.
Maybe we'll do this.
Did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in?
Now that I heard. I hear you very softly.
Oh.
That was pretty fun.
Good.
Not a lot.
Maybe you should turn your volume up then.
All right. Well, it's not working through my headphones. So off with the headphones. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I went and put my headphones on just for you because you said that it was more professional. So there you go.
Well, I thought it was, but obviously not because I can't get it to work. So, so how you doing out in sunny California there, Charlie?
Sunny and 70s all day today. It was beautiful. I took a nap before the show, so I was nice and fresh for you.
Well, I figured you'd be a little too exhausted.
Yeah, it was a long day.
Filling your
I had like 10 tech calls and like 30 emails or something like that. My hand's all sore.
What did you do this weekend? Anything?
Rode my motorcycle a little bit. We went on a 150-mile motorcycle ride. We met the very nice CHP officer that told us all about motorcycle safety and people dying on the road and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting. Super nice cop. No, actually, he pulled the group over, but we were not in the group at the time. My buddy's bike had a mechanical, so we were sitting on the side of the road, kind of like trying to figure out what was wrong with the bike. And the cop pulled up and was like, "You guys okay?" Like, "Yeah, we're fine." And then there's no service out there, so he called the tow truck, and then he's like, "Do you guys need anything else?" We're like, "No, we're just a little bit out of water." He's like, "Oh, I'll get you some water." So he ran down to the fire station, got us some ice cold waters, and then hung out with us until the tow truck showed up and told us all sorts of very interesting stories for a cop. He was a Marine and he had all sorts of cool perspective on life, so to speak. It was very interesting.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Instead of harassing you, would you have like 50 guys on those Groms?
No, I went on a big bike ride actually on my little bike and just kind of chased them around. This was a good time.
Little Charlie on his little Grom with a bunch of Harleys.
They were mostly like supermoto bikes, so the ones that kind of look like dirt bikes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
No danger, no S's through the canyons and dying or nothing?
No, not in our group. So the cop was telling us that he had to scoop somebody up earlier that morning, though, so that was interesting.
You know, there's times I want to get a bike, and then there's times that I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Although I did see, maybe I'm rolling myself under the bus, those Can-Am bikes, 2 wheels up front, 1 in the back. I don't know what they're called. They look pretty cool. I'm not saying I'm getting one, but they just look cool.
It's sort of Crocs, right?
The what?
Sort of Crocs, right?
Well, Crocs are legit, man. More and more people are rocking the Crocs. Come on, don't hate them. There was guys were wearing them down at the drag race this weekend.
I'm not gonna say nothing because some dude with Crocs is gonna come up and kick my ass in a parking lot somewhere.
He's gonna knock you off your little Grom. And then
it's much like sweatpants. Just because people wear sweatpants out in public doesn't make it okay. Same thing with Crocs. It doesn't make it okay.
Sweatpants is I don't know. Like over in Europe, when we're over at ETS, it's like all the young guys are just all wearing sweatpants, you know, and the ones with the tight around the ankles, so they just don't look very cool. And yeah, they're very, very popular. I don't get it, but Crocs are different though. Crocs, I don't know. I think you maybe reach a certain age that, you know, Crocs are legit. Over in Asia, all the guys over like in Hong Kong and everything, no matter how old they are, they're rocking Crocs to the racetrack.
Well, if they're not wearing Crocs in Asia, they're wearing like regular flip-flops. So that's like an upgrade for them. Their toes are covered.
This week in racing, they had the Roar Nationals this last week, Charlie, out on the East Coast at Jackson RC Raceway. And Mayfield it wasn't
swept up.
What's that?
Mayfield swept up, didn't he? He won both the A-scale classes.
Oh, that was Electric a couple weeks. Well,
sorry,
Nitro maybe a month ago. Electric A-scale a couple weeks. So yeah, he did well. But this was 10-scale on-road touring cars. They ran out to a real nice place called Jackson RC Raceway on the East Coast. Really nice. And all the guys that have been running modified these days were there. It was won by Sam Isaacs. He kind of took it in the first 2 rounds. Brandon Clemens finished second. This is modified. Mike Key took third. Felix Law, Mo Power. Remember Felix? Mo Power?
Who can't remember Felix?
Exactly.
He's like a walking Asian racist joke the whole time that he's around.
He is. He fits, and he just kind of plays into it though. He just loves it. So he hasn't been able to get back in Hong Kong with the whole pandemic. So he's been living in Florida ever since it started. He finished fourth.
They'll let anybody in Florida.
He what?
They'll let anybody in Florida.
Yeah, especially Felix. He had a nice story on his Facebook, the race report, that everybody loves to read. He had lots of stories that, my second round, second main, I finished second and just missed it. And then remember X-Man, Craig Xavier, he won 17-5. Brandon Clemens was second. Robbie Dodge, you know who Robbie is?
Do I know who Robbie Dodge is? Of course I know who Robbie Dodge is.
The cleanest pit area ever. It is beyond immaculate.
The on-road guys post a thing where I'm pulling a Robbie Dodge, and they have their pits either super clean or the opposite of.
Exactly. You got a picture of Hanulik's pit that's just like disarray, like a level 5
just like
tornado.
Hanulik. He's a disarray, so are his pits.
Yes, exactly. Craig Xavier also won 21-5. Sadly, it looks like you only had 3 guys in 12 scale 13-5. Billy Spence won that one. In Formula One, Karl Hofmeister was the winner of that. And USGT, looks like they had a pretty good crowd of that one. Karl Hofmeister was also the winner of that. And VTA wasn't too many guys. Matthew Abbey won that one. So that was the Roar Nats that went on this last weekend out at Jackson.
But before you move on, I want to shout out to the chat for pointing out that Crocs and trikes are bad. So even your own chat and your own show is against you on this trike and this Crocs nonsense. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, your favorite name to say is there from the East Coast, West Coast?
John Sang?
Yes.
John Sang? I don't want to yell because people might have headphones on.
What is John? John says Crocs, what does it say
Crocs
there?
and socks.
It's Crocs. Oh, let's hope there's a family reunion next year. We missed going up there for sure, and remembering our good friend Sven. Sven
Stop the presses. Kyle Predmore's here. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle. How are you? Man, lots of people chiming in. Danny Strasser from Hawaii. Jeff Brown, SXT. He made a big announcement for our drag race we got going on. Charlie, we've always done the goodie bags in Vegas and stuff like that. So I'm trying to do that goodie bag kind of theory here for our straight line showdown we're having at the end of the month. And Jeff says, Scotty, we've supported you for years in Vegas and Cleveland and the indoor champs and stuff. We're going to do it. Their launch additive has been very popular in the drag community. He's stepping up big time, giving every racer a big bottle of additive from SXT.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. So big thanks there, Jeff, for doing that. Jamie Scott from New Zealand. How are you? Scott Schultz.
So you're saying you're putting on a big drag race? I hadn't heard about this.
I am. You haven't heard about it? Come on. It's going to happen.
I'm going to be
know
there.
all about it.
I'm going to have the update booth. You guys are going to be able to come over and get your speaking controls updated with some new stuff. It's going to be awesome.
So we're very excited that Hobbywing is going to be the title sponsor of the Straight Line Showdown, August 27th through 29th. And the one and only Charlie Suangka is going to be there for the good and the bad, but mainly for the good because he is going to help us out.
All RC's good.
Absolutely.
Boomer's here. Hi, Boomer.
Oh, my bro's on it?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, bro?
My brother doesn't even come when I go on the internet, so your brother's better than my brother.
So this is going to be pretty cool. We're doing a straight line showdown drag race at Great Lakes Dragway. It's a real drag strip located between Milwaukee and Chicago. We were just there Sunday racing, and it was outstanding to be racing RC cars, and then 200 yards away you hear the full size cars doing burnouts and everything. It was pretty awesome, and they kept talking about it on the PA system. So we had spectators coming over the whole time checking things out. And you see the cars behind me here. I got a Traxxas Slash. I got a Losi 22S and a DR10 here from
See
Team
how much of a sellout he is, folks? A little bit of drag racing gets in there, and all he's got is drag racers on his shelf back there. He doesn't even have his off-road cars or an on-road car, nothing. Just all drag
it's all about drag racing right now. That's what I'm doing. I can't go anywhere else. Got nothing else going on. So we're putting on a big drag race, and it was really cool. We ran Sunday for the first kind of official day at Great Lakes Dragway, and it was wonderful. We got 3 days notice. They had a big event cancel on Sunday, so the owner called me up Wednesday night about 10 o'clock, said, "Hey, Scotty, if you guys want in Sunday, you can do that." And I said, perfect. Let's do it. We made a post online and all the social medias and everything, and boom, we were on. And Sunday, I figured we'd have, I don't know, 15, 20 people, not a killer turnout with short notice. And boy, 8 o'clock, people started rolling in. I was still blowing off the asphalt pad and everything, and they just kept coming in, and it was awesome. We ended up having 45 entries, and it was really cool. I was telling somebody on the phone today, I was really nervous, Charlie. I mean, I put on races for since 2001, and I was like nervous. It was kind of weird. I just wanted everything to go right, I guess.
It's and you're putting a lot of pressure on this because you keep saying how it's going to be the biggest and the best and the greatest. Like, you use that word, that set of words repeatedly throughout all of your interneting. So you've built all this pressure on your shoulders, and I can see that, buddy.
Well, we're gonna try. Hey, I ain't afraid to try and fail. I mean, I'm a failure every day, but we just want to give something special to the drag race crowd.
Scotty's marketing team has the vocabulary of a kindergartner. It's going to be the biggest, bestest, greatest ever.
Most fastest, and
yes,
all the good
totally
stuff.
I like
exactly. Lori Hess online. Hi, Lori.
Narissa's online. Hi, Narissa.
Oh, really? My daughter. Awesome.
I'm surprised you allow your kids to have the internet.
Wow. Burn number. That took you longer to get your first burn on me than my brother and I, Boomer, we were talking. I figured 26 seconds till you get your first burn in on me.
Well, your kid's probably like mine. They're old enough. They just buy their own stuff now. My kid got a job, and I don't have to buy her stuff. She just gets Amazon things to the house all day long. It's great.
Just constant deliveries coming.
Right. She had like how I used to make fun of your playlist on your Pandora because it had all your kids' music in there, and none of yours.
Yeah.
Well, my kid has her own Spotify now, and we don't have to share accounts or anything. So it's
so he's stepping it up in the world.
Totally.
Angus is online from Hong Kong. How are you, Angus? Good to have you with us. You're from all over. Oh, Daniel Wood. You remember Daniel, Charlie?
Of course.
Yes.
I follow Daniel very, very closely on the social medias because he runs his Miata and does videos of his Miata ripping around. So he moved on from playing with toy cars to playing with full-size toy cars. It's a Miata. It's not a real car.
Daniel, I haven't seen any videos. I mean, Facebook now, it shows the same 32 people in your feed all the time, unless you copy and paste that gimmick that everybody does, because of course it works. So yeah, it's a shame we don't get to see it. So send me a link next time you got one going. Jasmine Hernandez is on.
I'll tag you, bro. Don't worry. I know you like to get tagged on the internet. Jasmine, hello. The possibly will be the queen of the street. She's hosting a huge drag race event in September.
Exactly, huge drag race down in Topeka. Go ahead.
It's all ladies. Like an RC race with all ladies. I feel like I need to go to this.
Well, yes, you're correct. It is all ladies, and I think I just saw her post recently. I think it was over 40 entries for the ladies.
45.
And that's pretty awesome. So apparently it's going to happen on Friday. And then the main race is going to be on Saturday for all the big race. So it's like 2 races going on in the event, and the ladies are going to be on Friday. I'd love to go down there and check it out and watch that, because I think
if you'd have told me that that there was 45 RC people that could convince their significant other, daughter, girlfriend, wife, whatever the case may be, to go do a drag race that's going to be kind of on the internet and everything, I would have called you a liar. But here we are with confirmed entries. So I think that's awesome.
No, I think it's going to be really cool. She's reached out to the sponsors and the companies in the industry, and a lot of people have reached out, support her. I saw they had a lot of giveaways and stuff like that. I mean, so it's really cool.
Since I've had a daughter, I can fully appreciate the guys club situation or atmosphere that happens at most RC races. So I think it'll be very refreshing to start having some more ladies getting into racing and kind of break that up a little bit. So there's more fun for everybody. And chicks in the track's awesome.
It's an observation that I've made here through this last year that I've been to all these. Never seen more ladies, wives, girlfriends, daughters racing at a specific race. We go to 8-scale race or a short course race or whatever. There's a handful, but there's up to a dozen or more ladies racing, and it's I don't know why it's just so different. Maybe it's the shorter events. You can do a full event in 3-4 hours. On your Sunday
because
club
it's cool.
Well, it's cool. You're going fast, and you got a chance at a lot of these to win some money.
Right.
So, It's really cool. So, Jasmine, best of luck on the race. I know her and her dad, I spoke to them recently, and they wanted to come up to our race, but it's just so hard with their race going to be right after ours. There's another race at South Padre Island, I think, in Texas. That's a Desert Hobbies crew is putting on. So there's so many races going on all of a sudden here. So
there's only so many fun weekends that you can have in a row. So
yeah, well, what, 52, right?
You can certainly try.
Absolutely. So more and more people signing in. Folks, good to have everybody. I ask you your help as we try to build this up to be something that we can do frequently on YouTube and Facebook. Please go onto the YouTube page and subscribe and like it and do all that stuff to help us kind of get some more exposure and do this.
Click
more
the
and
bell.
More.
That way you get notifications when Scotty goes live, because you want notifications in your life. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, everything ding, ding, ding for everything that you subscribe to and like. Charlie, let's talk about Axial Fest.
Yes,
there was two of them over the course of the last month here. You've always been a huge part of it. And but let's start with Indiana. You went out to Indiana, and it was
these are the first Axial Fest that I've done where I officially had a booth where I was working the event and not just there to black out and make loud noises. So it was a bit of a change of pace for me, if I'm honest. You know, all the events are a little bit of work. We go to have fun, spread the love. But I went to Indiana. It was last month, and then a couple weeks ago was the one at Donner Ski Ranch. So the one in Indiana happens at the Badlands Off-Road Park, which is, you can go camp there, and then you can bring your side-by-sides. They got a dirt bike track. They got trails for full-size, like 4x4 competition rigs, you know, the ones that have to go on a trailer, you can't drive on the street type of deal. Right. And they shut down a bunch of those trails to build RC trails only, so you didn't have to worry about getting run over for a couple of days. But they had some very cool sections of the trail to get you to where the rocks were, so you had to like kind of slog through some mud for a while, or what would have been dirt trails had it not rained for so many days straight. But the rain, like every few hours, that was super hard, was a little discouraging, but the people were insane. They had ponchos and umbrellas and bags on their radios, and they were trucking out in the middle of the rainstorm, because Axial was like, well, we're not going to cancel the whole event because of the weather, so if you guys want to get out there and have fun, we'll stand out there and have fun with you too. So all the events, awesome. Folks were out there in the rain hosting. They had tough truck competitions and rock racing and all this other. There's like 30 different things that happen throughout the course of the couple of days. And all of them kind of, I want to say, went off without a hitch, but they went on rain or shine. So it was pretty cool. I stayed in the tent, like hiding from all of that. I'm like, no.
You didn't go out in the rain, run? Come on, you're a diehard.
I went out, I stood in the rain and walked around in the rain, but I didn't really get out on trail while it was actively raining. Like we waited till it stopped raining, because you'd stalk the weather radar and then you'd go out between the bursts, if you will. Did a bunch of night crawling, because it was only like not raining at night, so we got out at night a bunch in Indiana. That was a good time.
You rate really high, because my eldest daughter Sarah Ann said hi to you and not to me.
I've been noticing a trend that I get a lot more highs than you do in the chat. So thanks everybody, I appreciate that.
Our buddy Mike Basiglia is online.
Big Sack.
Big Sack, yes, Mike. How are you? We miss you. We should have been hanging out a couple weeks ago, but we'll have to wait till next year.
We're multinational champion Josh Cyril.
Josh, holy cow! What is up, Josh? Josh Cyril is in our broadcast. Wow, that's like an honor. He's how many national? Josh, how many national championships have you won? Can you remember?
It's got to be in the teens.
Oh, at least, if not 20. I was racing with Joel Johnson out at the KO Grand Prix out west, and I asked him, he said 32. He thinks 32 national championship Joel has. Why were you shaking your head?
Because you're cheater training. You go and you use your pull to go get all the secrets from past multi-time national champions, and then you go out there and you smoke all the old dudes in the old dude class like you're somebody fast, but you've been cheating.
I got smoked last month. Last year I went there, I finished second. I was like 3/4, almost just under a lap, down from the leader. I couldn't get out of the B this year. I got smoked.
Gotta cheat more. You're off your game, buddy.
I guess that's it. Yeah, how do you cheat in 8-scale nitro? That's a little difficult. HJ Queck from Singapore is online. How are you? Good to
It's
have you joining us.
Father of Dominic, or is it Dominic his dad? I always get the two mixed up now. I can't tell.
Yeah, HJ is dad, Dominic is son.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so good to have you following
Chad
along
Moore
and joining us.
From Moore RC Raceway.
I got to stop out there when I went to the Mile High Mayhem drag race a couple 3 weeks ago, and I haven't been out there since he told me, was it 2003? I think was the on-road national championships, and we had it there at Moore RC Raceway when his dad was still with us and running it. We had a good time over there, and that was that's my only Roar National Championship was there, 12 scale asphalt.
Moore Raceway is like the SoCal of the mountains. Lots of fast guys came out of that place. So whatever's in the dirt there, people need to sniff it.
Dustin, Matt Chambers, Zeke, they're all from there. So Zeke laid it down at J Concepts race there at Action Hobbies in Arizona a couple 3 weeks ago. I think he podiumed in 2 or 3 classes, and that was cool, pretty cool. Zeke's a pretty amazing dude. Jamie Scott, what? Go ahead.
No, I got a banana emoji in the chat too. Those are always nice.
Yeah, Boomer wanted to know when the whole banana thing started. That's how long that's been going on.
Well, they're good for you. When I got into riding bicycles, I used to always try to eat a banana, and then you take a picture of it because a banana is hilarious, and all of a sudden it became a thing. I mean, what's not funny about a banana?
Yeah, banana in the tailpipe, right? What movie?
Whatever. It comes so handy.
What movie was that? You don't remember, Charlie? Banana in the tailpipe? The throbbing brain will know. Somebody will throw that out. Lakin Young. What is up, Lakin? He's a young gun from down in the Oklahoma area. Him and his dad help us with the RC Chili Bowl. This kid's legit dirt oval racer. He's really good. We're doing well. And looking forward to Chili Bowl. Not that far, January, we get to go back to Tulsa and go round.
I feel like we've been in a time capsule and we haven't really moved through the years. Now that racing started, we're back on moving through the years again.
That's a good way to put it. The last 15 months have been, what's going on. But Charlie, did it feel like it went quick for you? Because I'm trying to think where the last year and a half of our lives went, and it's just.
It's funny. I was already working from home and not leaving the house very often anyway, so it just made us have to shop better, like because we didn't want to go to the store as often, so we'd like kind of shopped a little bit longer, if you will, like buy more stuff to last longer, so you didn't have to go to the store every week. But no, I mean, other than things being closed and not being able to go out to eat and going to races, it was terrible. That part was awful, but work and things like that kind of flashed on by because everybody was super busy using their free time to get into a new hobby. Like I talked to so many people that were getting into RC because they had the free time now, they had time off or whatever the case may be.
It was record for the RC industry. And it was just, you talk to any shop, anybody in the industry, it was record time for them. And it was just absolutely crazy from the big, big companies like, Horizon Hobbies down to the small little companies like Exotech and stuff like that. They couldn't make stuff fast enough. And it's, just amazing how it just helped the hobby and hobby shops so much during this tough time.
Yeah. With
Bob Thorpe was first one in Beverly Hills Cop, my little movie breakdown. Mike basically says, yeah, Dragger. Is it big up in the Northwest up there, Mike? Because I know everywhere here and everywhere in the country it's grown. And I equal it to the short course wave in 2010, 2011, when Traxxas came out with the Slash that nobody saw coming, and it hit, and it was crazy popular, and we started the series and everything for that, and it was just everybody was getting into short course, and so many new people got into the hobbies. We're coming into our shop here locally, Trackside, when our family owned it, and just it was crazy. And I see the same thing in drag racing, but beyond that, I think, because it's. I don't want to say it's not easier. It's just you can do it and have racing, I think, a bit different with everything.
It looks easier.
What's that?
To the common person, the competition format makes sense. It looks a lot easier because there's not a lot of skill to learn how to drive the car. There's just a lot of skill in setting it up and stuff like that. So the curb appeal of drag racing is significantly higher than anything else has been. And I think that was the big thing for short course too. It looked cooler. You could bang doors, race them. They had big bumpers that protected the cars. Like, to people who don't know anything about RC, when they see a huge bumper on the front of their car, they're like, yes, I want that, because that's going to protect it from crashing. So drag racing has that same type of thing, that drag racing is the most simple form of competition. Like, everybody has been drag racing their RC cars in the street since as long as it's been a thing. I mean, not for us, because we have these finely tuned race cars that we wouldn't dare put down in a dirty parking lot, but for the rest of the RC world at large, like, the first thing they try to do is see which one's faster going down the street. So I mean, it's all kind of like, it's perfect timing, I think, for drag racing to come around, because the tech's getting good enough now, and there's places to go do this. Like, the parking lot situation, being able to hold a drag race in a parking lot is pretty awesome too. So
it is, and people can do it. Neighbors in a cul-de-sac can just go out and do it, and you can run anything. And the Traxxas came out with that little DTS, I think it was, the timing system, the little light system and everything. We used it at Trackside for many years in the summer. Kenny Dibb, our old manager, he was the man. He was out there every Tuesday night running it for everybody, and we missed a good times with him, and he used to do it. And man, he used to love doing it. And everybody, it didn't matter what they had, a buggy or truck, but it was something cool. You could run with anything. And now, the last couple of years, it's kind of been underground. But after they did the big King of the Streets race in Las Vegas, it has just exploded, and now it's mainstream. I mean, there's companies like Dustin Malico, 5-7 Designs. They make dirt oval cars, but they're making more drag cars than dirt oval cars, and they just can't make them fast enough. It's crazy how this is just taken over the industry in so many ways.
Something new and fresh that uses old stuff, and allowed a lot of folks that maybe got burned out on the tinkering aspect timed in with the racing aspect. They're like, drag racing is perfect. I can tinker all I want. I can run it a bunch of times in the course of a day, and the runs are over quick. I get my results from my changes instantly. So, I mean, makes a lot of sense for a lot of, I lovingly call all of us RC nerds. Like, this is right up our alley. When we started getting into a little bit of this drag racing stuff locally, like, I got all fired up, and I was working on my car in the garage. I never work on my RC cars or tune on them or do anything. And I had this thing like torn apart, trying stuff. We were doing test hits in the street in front of the house to see if they were better or worse before we'd go racing. Like, I get it.
But you can do it right out,
Right.
And it's the only form of racing. You see these huge prize pools that are out there that, people are winning, thousands and thousands of dollars. And it's the only form, in my opinion, where money works in RC. Charlie, you and I are best buddies. We're 30-year-old friends. You know what I mean? I said, I want you speaking at my funeral. But, man, coming out of turn 4 for $10,000, buddy, I'm sending you to the wall. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. But in drag racing, it's cut and dry. You can't affect the other guy's race. If you jump the light, you red light, you lose. You cross the center line, you lose. At most races, you hit the outside wall, you lose. If you're second to the finish line, you lose. It's pretty cut and dry, and that's why the money thing works. Yeah, it's a take on that Street Outlaw show on Discovery, and that's what kind of started the craze here for this, and now it's just in the mainstream, and got a chance to win some money. And what married guy wouldn't want to come back from a week and say, honey, I won $5,000. Not that he would say the total that he won. Maybe he won 5, but yeah, look, I won 3, honey. It
tells you a a lot about Scotty's marriage, doesn't it?
Ah,
oh
wait, I got one.
Chad,
huh?
Chad, he was asking me how many GoPros I've broken. I stopped counting at 24, and I got to be close to 30 by now, I think.
Do you just do the circle of Best Buys around California where you are, so you never go to the same one twice until you get to all 6?
In the early days of the Geek Squad coverage, you paid whatever $30 or $40 for this fee or the service that they offered, and they'd give you another one on site. And then slowly that's changed. No, you get one, and then you have to pay the $40 to put it on your next one again. So you use the coverage each time. It's like a $40 replacement voucher. in the early days, the GoPro staff would run it as a warranty, not as a coverage, and I would not have to pay the fee, and I would get it replaced. Like I got a handful of them that way, but they figured that out real quick, and now I have to pay the fee every time, and the fee is getting bigger and bigger, and the window of breakage is getting longer and longer too. And you don't get a new GoPro right away; they have to send it out to their little service center and determine if they're going to fix it. Yeah.
See, you ruined it for everybody.
I didn't ruin it; they ruined it. The Best Buy people explained it to me that GoPro made these changes, not them. So,
yeah, after they get all these drone ones back.
I figure it's just karma because I do customer service and work with warranty stuff in the RC industry, and I mean it's just karma getting back at me for making people have to jump through hoops to get their RC warranty at Hobbywing.
What is your feeling on the whole drone thing? Obviously, when it first came in, it just absolutely skyrocketed the popularity. You guys went out to New York. You did that on Liberty Island and the whole ESPN.
I was on ESPN.
Ocho. Yeah, ESPN on the Ocho.
It was worse than the Ocho.
It was what's lower than the Ocho? Was it on?
Yeah, it was on their online streaming service. It wasn't even on the Ocho. Like you can only watch it on the app on your phone or something weird like that. I don't even know.
When I watched it, I was waiting for Gary to call you. You know, like they did in
it's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, Cotton. Exactly. I was just exactly waiting for you guys to pull out the dodgeball references. But now it's. You know, I mean,
so in the early stages of drone racing, the investors were aplenty because drone racing was a huge deal. Like it was the buzzword of the day, and it presented very well to the audience in the right production. And they were sold all these things. They were going to get live feed, and much like you guys have all seen Drone Racing League on ESPN or TV and stuff like that, they were going to get that type of package, and that never really came to any of these events. So the investors, drone became a swear word to them. They wanted nothing to do with drone events for a while after that. So the racers, multi-GP is like I don't want to say the roar of drone racing, but it's the organizing body of drone racing. They have the rules package or lack of rules package, depending on how you want to look at it, for race competition formats and stuff like that. And what drone racing has done is they make a global qualifier, they call it. You get like a map of the track, and you make that map and you get it certified somehow. They have a method where they do all of this, and then you can run lap times at your local club that qualify you on the global qualifier ranking boards, and that seeds you for their national championships. So the racing format is obviously very different. They have much shorter races. They have any number of formats that they do for this, but in the end, the main core of getting to the national championships for drone racing these days is through this global qualifier ladder. And then there's a handful of leagues that are still around. Drone Racing League is still going strong. They still have their contracts with other TV partners. DCL Drone Championship League is still running strong, and they have a simulator thing that they're doing as well. And then there's probably one more that I'm forgetting, but it's because they don't promote it anymore. But anyway, drone racing is still alive and well. The clubs are still happening. There's still national championships and all that. So
are there still that elite few that are getting paid some serious money to do it?
Yeah, I mean, most of the DRL pilots, they still travel and race their local scene and do lots of other things, and then they have their DRL contracts as well. But what I've never seen in RC cars is an RC car racer move on to full size racing, and with these drone guys, you're getting a little bit of that they're moving from racing into the movie world, and they're doing drone work for Michael Bay and big production companies and stuff like that. So
I was going to mention that because I know you have some friends that do that, and then you see now NASCAR's got the huge drones, following, and all the motorsports are getting into it. So some of those drone pilots have gone into make it a profession outside of the hobby side.
Some of them are getting signed up as operators for a specific league, and they're a one-man show or whatever their crew is. Some of them are getting signed on to production companies, and these production companies are doing movies or commercials or special sporting events and stuff like that. So, I mean, from where we were 4 or 5 years ago to the tech that they have now with what you see in the goggles now versus what you saw back then is a game changer. My stuff now, it's like watching the GoPro footage live in my goggles. The new tech is much
It's
much
that
better.
clear?
Yeah. Like it gives you confidence to fly around a lot more stuff because you can see way better. I mean, if anybody's seen like analog FPV drone stuff, first person view, it's real staticky and grainy. And it's like watching like a tube TV with rabbit ears versus HD and cable. So
I remember a couple of years ago when I was out in San Francisco, we went by, what was that, old Candlestick Park or something like that in that field, and you tried to get me to do it, and that just, it wasn't happening. But
hey, don't tell people about what I tried to get you to do in a field outside of Candlestick Park, buddy.
Yeah, Jesus. Stories, yeah.
Between us. Yeah. No, Scotty came out for he was out here for some sort of tour of shaking babies and kissing hands is what I say it when he goes around to meet prospective tracks and whatnot. But I hit him up to meet. We went and had like lunch or something, and then we went to a drone field and we watched some dudes do practice day, and it was rad.
It was crazy, man.
Tuesday next week, I'm going to be in Indiana for the Multi-GP International Open that is being held in Muncie, Indiana, at the Academy of Model Aeronautics headquarters.
Oh wow! Are you going to be like emceeing the show, or are you doing it for Hobbywing, or?
We're going to have a booth, so I'll be manning the booth, talking about cool things, doing some stuff for my YouTube show, The Charlie Show, getting some footage for our podcast. It's called RC Stuff, powered by Hobbywing. So it'll be 4 or 5 days, I think, and then I stay for an extra day to go hang out with my brother. I fly home from that. I pack for 2 days, and then I go to Oregon for the West Coast Throwdown, and then I pack from that, and I fly out to Wisconsin for the Straight Line Showdown.
That's right, man. You're going to be a traveling vagabond there, just out and about.
3 weeks on the road. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Be like John Schultz from Associated, just driving everywhere and rock crawling and racing. And what?
Nothing like John Schultz from Associated. Don't ever make that comparison again. Love you,
John. Chris Gilland, how are you? Says he met you at the IKEA parking lot.
That was a good night. I was Vegas was a fun event. Like Scotty cooked for me one night. We went out to dinner each night and hung out and got to talk with the live stream that was there. And then I met lots of cool folks at the parking lot. Test and Tune was pretty intense to watch everybody kind of like sit at their tables, eyeball who was going out to run. Like, like somebody would get up from their table and all of a sudden you see a bunch of heads pop up and then they'd slowly kind of lurk their way to the side of the track to go watch them run without watching. So it's cool.
Yeah, nobody wanted to show their complete hand for that. That Vegas race was pretty crazy. There were some guys that kitted up their car that was on Friday night. Not good right before the big race on Saturday.
It's a very when we were doing drag racing things, I made it a rule: no run in the car the day before. Like you're gonna break it. It's good. Put it away.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, it's Fred Medell.
Fred Medell is online, ladies and gentlemen, from Tamiya, America. Fred. 1997 national front-wheel drive champion. Yes,
he's the only person in RC, one of 4 people in RC that are shorter than I am.
Ooh, see, that was the less than 26-second burn before that happened. So sorry, Fred.
We won't make any ball jokes yet.
No, don't. Does my hair look all right? I think it does. Yeah, you're doing good though. You still got a full head of hair, so you're all right. You got the beard going
for now.
Yeah, oh, you still got that Eddie, the
dude. That doesn't go away, man. No, that's the sign of someone who's awesome. That's what that means. If you have,
that's what it is. Yeah, the kid on the Munsters had that all, but even like way down.
His is fake.
Yours is real. Yeah. Ray Mendez, how are you? Fred asked. Go ahead, Charlie.
No, I was going to say, if anybody's in Indiana, come out to the AMA headquarters and come see me. That's awesome. You bring a cold beer, but they have a nighttime festivities thing that goes on, and it's fun, and there's camping on site, so that's super fun. But the Academy of Model Aeronautics headquarters is an amazing piece of property that anybody who's into RC should see. It's awesome. Like there's, I think, 6 or 7 different fields. And I mean, I always imagine the cool things that we could do in an RC race out there type of deal because it's massive. But next week, I'll be there all week.
That organization has done so much for their hobbyists. The people that joined and supported that group, the AMA was just man, it was that place, as you said, is just spectacular what they built there for their hobbyists, and they had so many different events there each year.
Fred asked if we like each other. No, we definitely don't like. We still don't like each other. If that's how that question's supposed to go. I mean, he likes me, but I don't like him.
Yeah, he posted this a couple of days ago. If we were going to say how we met, and it goes way back. I mean, one of my longest friendships in the hobby is
I was a customer.
Dad.
I was just a racer, and we were the only Asian people for like 100 miles. So Scotty was excited because he saw a yellow brother in the room. So him and my dad hit it off. I think it's because my dad was hitting on Nancy the whole time, maybe because Nancy would always hook my dad up with a little bit of a discount on certain items when he would go pay at the end of the night. So they got along real good. But my dad was a real loudmouth, oddly enough. So he made a lot of friends at the track. So him and Scotty, like, he knows that you got to be nice to the race director, so that he calls traffic for you. And my dad was real nice to the race director to call traffic for us.
So Charlie,
I raced at Scotty's track way back in the 89, 88.
No, it'd been like in early 90s. We moved to where we were on Green Bay in 94. So right. It was 95, 96. That's when we started. I lobbied for Tamiya started their Tamiya Championship Series in the early 90s. And they started it out in California, just parking lots. They had one in Michigan, just parking lots. And I lobbied the guys at Tamiya for 2 years to
Eric
say,
Sands.
Hey, what's that?
Eric Sands was the guy's name.
Exactly.
That dude was like 7 feet tall.
And I lobbied him for 2 years to say, hey, listen, this side of the Mississippi in the winter, we race indoors in carpet. I know the Tamiya Championship Series is all about parking lots and everything, but give us a chance. Give us a chance. And finally, we had a chance, and we held our Tamiya Championship Series back in the early days, and it was awesome. I think, Fred, you can confirm this. I think Trackside still has the record for the most attendees at any event. I know we held it for more than 10 years.
Don't sprain your arm.
I was proud of it. I'll pat myself on the back for that one. There's no doubt about it. That was a big deal.
I forgot that it was actually a TCS race. Was the first race that we went to your track. Like,
exactly.
My dad was
and you had a red and black.
We're gonna go to this thing because his appeal was we're gonna win this national championship class and go on this trip that they're giving away. Right. Like he was convinced we were gonna go win this thing. Like, oh, they're giving something away. Cool, we're going.
So Charlie and his dad and this Charlie,
they had
Charlie
a box
was maybe 12 years old, maybe.
92, when were you born? I was 12. 79.
79. Yeah, so you were like 13, 14 years old maybe. He shows up in his TA02 Tamiya car, red and black. I'll never forget it. And he started racing it. And if you know about Tamiya bodies, they get really well detailed and everything. He forgot to take the plastic wrap off the outside of the bodies, and he was racing like that. And he came up and started racing, and him and his dad just became, trackside regulars. They drove up the hour or whatever it was from Lake Villa or Lake Villa, right?
Lake Villa.
Yeah, Lake Villa, where you lived there, and we just became friends. And him and his dad, they got into oval racing up at the Triclone Asphalt Oval Racing, and they had the name of their team was Rice Burner Racing. That was on the side of the trailer and everything, Rice Burner Racing.
You got to remember.
I'm not lying, am I, Charlie?
No, it's the 90s. Like, there wasn't a lot of Asian folks just doing cool stuff like there are, from living in California. They're everywhere. But in the Midwest, like, my dad was the only Asian guy you'd see anywhere ever all the time, and he loved it. Like, he played up to that stuff. So they called him Donger, for crying out loud.
Well, he was crazy. He had a heavy Thai accent, and just he was just comedy relief. He was funny and just always cutting up. And him and his little son then, Charlie, were just always a joy to have around. And
he was Dad's a machinist by trade, so he'd make parts, and we had a product line. And we sold brush cutting tools, brush break-in tools, axle reamers, body posts. He even did production for Trinity for a short time. So, I mean, we've been around the industry a minute there.
A long time, yeah. I remember when you guys were making everything, and he was mover and a shaker in the Midwest of making stuff happen. So
I always talk about it. Sounds like my dad's dead. He's still doing fine. He's on his retirement program over in Thailand with his second or third family now, and rebuilding old vintage Mazdas and stuff like that. So he's having a good time.
Well, that's good. I haven't seen him for absolutely years. What's
Send
up,
him a
Jerry?
Facebook message. He'll love
that. Just out of the blue. Oh yeah. That's cool. We had some good times with you guys when you were younger and traveling around and doing a lot of racing. So Fred, that's how the Charlie and Scotty relationship has grown to be as wonderful as it is for all these years.
Well, Scotty's was the first track when I got my driver's license that I would go do club racing instead of hang out with people my own age. So like trackside was my jam. I had a bunch of racing buddies that we were all cool with each other. And in the wintertime, we would pack the snowbanks with our snow cars. You'd go out in the parking lot, you'd hot rod it, pull the parking brake, and slide into the snowbanks and push the snowbanks back. That was some good times in the trackside parking lot. Me and Danny D.
He's still around, still racing and everything.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
He's got the fever.
Yep, he helps out at Paul at Motive, and
what do I miss most of the Midwest? He's asking me. Probably nothing but my friends. Like the Midwest is a miserable part of the country. It's so hot in the summertime that people die of heat stroke. So cold in the winter they freeze to death. It's Mother Nature's way of saying get the hell out of here. But the people are great.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I talked to some guys out in Arizona today, and it was 114. Yeah, no, thank you. It might get to be 10 degrees below zero here, but you can put a coat and a hat on. Arizona, 114 degrees or whatever. You're just in trouble. Dana's online. Dana, what's up? He's saying old school. Dana remembers old days running with Rice Burner Racing up at the Triclone.
Dana used to be one of the regulars up at the Triclone and a trackside.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron Reicha, how are you? Doing well?
Butters.
Oh, Butters is back. Did you know that? Butters is back to racing. He was racing big-time jets, like the legit real RC jets and everything, like real bad Johnny stuff. And then I see him posted. He got a Custom Works sprint car, and he's like back at it, and that's pretty awesome.
But Butters is so back that he's got a job at a hobby shop part-time or something. He called tech support one day, and I'm like, Butters?
You could tell by his voice?
Every once in a while, they know it's me, or I can't remember exactly how it went down, but he was very professional. He cut to the chase. We had a very I'm sure he has customers in front of him, so he didn't want to stand there and tell horrible stories in front of the customers. But
Fred says, what do I miss most about having driving skills? That was being able to beat Fred Medell all the time. That's what I miss most.
He beat me at the KO Grand Prix. I had the saltiest second place finish of my entire racing career was when Fred beat me at Tamiya, because he ran a one-way and I refused because my Reedy race car was so good. I was going to beat him with my Reedy race car. I talked a bunch of trash and never put a one-way setup on, and he smoked me like half a lap.
That's right. Charlie is what year was it that you 19 turned champion?
Let's see. The trophy's up there.
2013?
2004.
2004.
Yeah. It was 2 years before my kid was born.
Wow. That's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Man, those were the days at the Tamiya track out in California. It was the simplest track, but it was the most iconic place to race in the history of touring car racing in our world of racing. It was absolutely amazing. Sure missed that.
Play, yeah. I watched the video of 2004. I have it on like a
constant
VHS
loop
tape. It just plays in the background all the time. No,
yeah, exactly.
Because then I have to listen to your voice in the background. And what I was going to say was Scotty's like race call in 2004 is the same as it is now in 2021. I was like, oh man,
exactly. I got nothing new, nothing fresh.
I had it in the bag. I was cool as the other side of the pillow, like all of it.
All my stupid Scottyisms that I say. So, but yeah, it was an amazing, amazing place. Remember Novak Charlie at the Carpet Nats with the Novak bump box? Charlie used to be all dressed in orange, head to toe, back in the Novak days.
Yeah, no shame in my game, folks. I just walk around looking like a tardo all the time, and everybody loved it.
You ever bump into Bob or hear from Bob Novak anymore?
A couple years ago, we did like a reunion party. He got everybody together at his house before COVID's was super bad, and that was probably just before COVID's actually. And it was great. He's doing good. I got to saw the whole team. I got to see everybody from the old crew, so it was really nice. And then I've been keeping in touch with him. I call him every once in a while because
awesome.
I owe Novak all of my fame and fortune. If it wasn't for them, who would I be these days? So
absolutely. I mean,
he's doing good.
Oh, that's good. Still wonder if he's still playing softball. He played softball like 9 days a week back in the day. Only like 5 years ago.
Oddly enough, of all the things that we did talk about, softball didn't come up, but he's like 93 or 94 or something like that. So I hope he's not playing softball. You take a ball to the dome and it could be over.
But it kept him active. Jason Walecki, how are you? Good deal. Just trying to just talk about all things RC is what's going on. We've been talking a little bit about rock crawling, Axial Fest, and drag racing and everything else. Charlie's going to be traveling a lot. What was the race in Oregon you said you're going? Or
the West Coast. It's not so much a race as it is an RC festival for drones. It's kind of like Drone Fest. They rent out an entire camp's ground. Like there's like 30 or 40 sites, and they block it all off for their event participants only. And because of that, they have free reign to set up courses, freestyle courses for the drones. And it's at a horseshoe in the river. So the campground is surrounded by a river on all sides with a mountain that runs up. It's amazing. It's super cool to go fly at. So you get to spend 3 or 4 days out there doing FPV things and camping, hanging out with homies. And they got party every night. It's a really good time. It's the West Coast Throwdown. They got a Facebook page. If you punch in West Coast Throwdown, you can't miss it. It's in Roseburg, Oregon.
I love that confidence.
Right. Rose something.
Fred,
there you go.
Find it.
And then people ask me all the time about Axial Fest in California, if it was better or worse, the same. Without camping, Axial Fest is not Axial Fest in regards to like that hangout atmosphere. And because they couldn't really know what the regulations were going to be, there was no camping this year like there was last year. They had a parking lot where you could slot in basically parking lot style camping. So that wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. You still get that thing where you're walking around the campground, somebody's got a fire, you walk over, make friends, talk to them, share a beer. Well, at least that's what I do when I go to campgrounds. I'm not sure if people like that or not, but that's what happens. So we only had the vendor area was camping. So my lap was really short and everybody got sick of me really quick. So I ended up back in my own campground more often than not.
Oh no, here comes Charlie. Put the drinks away.
Yeah, everybody. We're out of beer, Charlie. I'm like, all right, see you later. But the Axial Fest at Donner is at a ski ranch. And I don't know, you folks from the Midwest, your ski ranches are not nearly as steep as the ski ranches are out here. I'm thinking specifically of Wilmot Mountain type of thing. You're like,
yeah, exactly. Our run's about 30 seconds.
Right. These places are like double chairlifts to get up to the top of them. So they had a shuttle, like a truck with a trailer on the back of it that would bring a load of people halfway up the mountain to where the rocks and all the good trails were, and then you'd hike around all afternoon having a great time. They have like a halfway point and a 3/4 way point that had water. They even had like a barbecue up there so people could like set up lunch and all sorts of stuff. So it's pretty cool. Even though there wasn't camping, there was a lot of folks that still stayed the 20 or 30 minutes away in Truckee and Lake Tahoe, got hotels on site. There was a nice fancy pants like cabin in the woods style hotel. You could get cabins that were there. So it's not nearly as bad as the internet would probably make it out to be. And I mean, it was awesome. There were still tons of people there when they did the awards ceremony or when people lined up. 200-300 people at least. I mean, without a doubt. So,
yeah, I mean, everybody that isn't into that segment of the hobby, poo-poos it on the internet. But you talk to anybody that's been there, it's just the greatest time. It's just always fun every year that they go there.
Yeah. To walk around and everybody be stoked on things, to like, hey, nice truck, nice this, nice that. Like it's different. Like, it's like it sounds really lame. I hate to be the softy, but this like brotherhood family atmosphere where we're all together here for the same reason, having a really good time with our nerd trucks and regular folk don't understand, so to speak.
That is fun. Jason Klein, how you doing, Jason? Says last time seeing you was downtown Sunny Brown's PRL race. That's a long time ago.
At Allen's RC Raceway in Flatvilles, Illinois. Way down there. that was the first time that I got back and ran oval in a long time, and that place was like a 3-second lap time, and I had to like hold on to the hand railing after my first run because I got dizzy. I was like, "Oh my god, this is too fast! I can't do this."
Oh man, yeah, 3.1, 3.2, 3.2.
Then I got good, and it was all right. I think I made the C main or something like that. That was another race that I went to where Sullivan beat me, and I had to retire from RC.
Bill Sullivan, there's a guy I haven't seen in ages. They're 6 foot tall, 6'5" and 100 pounds.
Him and my dad were super good friends for some reason.
They were tight.
Yeah. He used to plow our driveway in the wintertime for us. It was great.
Somebody asked about traveling here in the chat room, and yeah, I haven't traveled for ages now. It's been overseas since February of 2020 was the last time that I traveled. I'm supposed to be going. We have our EOS this weekend in Germany, and I'm supposed to go to that. Then we're supposed to have an ETS after that. I couldn't go to our European Touring Series a couple of weeks ago that we had in Germany. It's just been, man, no overseas travel until this all, blows over.
COVID was the perfect excuse for Europeans to keep the dirty Americans out of their beautiful countries. So I think that they're going to hold on to these regulations for as long as possible.
Yeah, it's strict. I mean, if you get 2 negative tests in like 2 days before, and then once you go there, you got to do it. But if you get sick or something while you're there, forget about it. You're like quarantined for weeks, and it's just, man, it's a mess, and I can't go anywhere.
Hey, Jason wants to know when the Chili Bowl registration opens up.
Chili Bowl registration, that opens September. I got it here in front of you. September 1st, Wednesday. September 1st, we're going to do that. Trey Ford. What's up, Trey? Trey's like, he's my tech god there at the RC Chili Bowl. And he's going to come up and help us for the Straight Line Showdown, help run tech. And the Hess family, too, Charlie is coming up. Monty and Lori are coming up to help and stuff. So you can see Monty and Lori. Huh?
Oh, sorry, Monty. Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah.
Mrs. Hess is watching right now. I'm sorry, Mrs. Hess. It was a joke.
It's after 10 o'clock now, so you're okay, right? This is, what are they, late night swim or something? What do they used to have on Comedy Central?
Adult Swim, I think it was.
Yeah. Adult Swim. Chris, oval tires. Yeah, I saw somebody the other day is starting a whole, what tires are we going to run for the Chili Bowl and stuff like that. So not too many major changes. Waiting to get some final info from AK and Pro Lines with all that changes and everything. But everybody had plenty of notice of what's going on and things like that, because we do spec tires, Charlie, in all the oval classes at the RC Chili Bowl. And so with AK being acquired by Horizon Hobbies, there's lots of questions on what's going on. So I'll have some answers for everybody here in the coming weeks once we know everything that's going on. What else you got, Charlie? Anything else? Any questions out there otherwise from the throbbing brain in the chat room to
Hobbywing is in fact working on an update for the speed controls, both the XR8 Pro as well as the XR10 for enhanced tuning suited for a wider range of applications, not limited to but including drag racing. So we're going to I don't want to market a drag racing product. I'm not a fan of pigeonholing certain things. Like a drag racing speed control is going to be a kick-ass speed control whether it's for drag racing or not. So I'd rather just have a kick-ass speed control, and that's the one you use for drag racing, and then we use it for everything. But we're working on firmware now. Engineers have been kind of giving us stuff to test, and we're running through some checks with some real fast guys. And hopefully, in time for Straight Line Showdown, we'll be able to update speed controls on site and let people try that stuff out. And of course, roll back if you don't like it as well.
Oh, that's going to be pretty awesome.
I want to mention that every Tuesday I have my Charlie show, Compliments of Hobbywing. It's on YouTube. It's Hobbywing Officials, the page, and you punch in the Charlie show onto that, and you'll find my playlist. And I also do a bi-monthly podcast with Jordan Jet Temkin from the DRL, and we give away free RC stuff every single episode. You can find out details on how to get signed up and get your free RC stuff. All you have to do is listen to one episode of the podcast, and you'll find out how to get signed up. You can find that on your favorite podcast service. Just search RC Stuff, powered by Hobbywing.
Wow, you've said that before. Sounded like a recording.
Anytime. It's my interview thing I do.
A bunch of Hobbywing.
Ehrlich's online. I have a bunch of gifts in my garage that Ehrlich has given me over the years. I was just looking at those. I got the little tiny Luke. I got the banana wagon and the monkey with the Novak on it that had the bald spot. I don't know if you remember any of that.
All the memories we have through the years. Just epic.
Too many.
Was that Tony Phelan, I wonder?
Tony P. Yes, they do have data logging. It's get asked that all the time. It's not a graph. It doesn't show you the run. You get mins and maxes, minimum voltage, maximum current, maximum RPMs, some temperatures as well.
There you go. It was cool to see the guys this last Sunday when we were racing at Great Lakes Dragway, go back, make some changes and come right back, every 5 minutes, boom, 2 seconds down. And it was awesome. Thankfully, we didn't have any major crashes.
You let them do practice, right? Like
we did a couple hours of practice.
Open practice, they stand in line and they just go.
Yeah, exactly. And we're using the new lifetime light system, so it worked out really good. And the information is instant. And then as soon as we hit save on the computer, it sends them a text message of their ET, their reaction time, everything. It's pretty sweet.
So really, fancy.
It really makes it nice, and it's going to make the showdown that much better, I think.
So you'll have a text message log of how many runs you got throughout the day, reminding you how awesome or terrible you did for eternity.
Exactly. And that's a cool feature to do it. You don't have to, look anywhere. A lot of places have the receipt paper, and you got, at the end of the day, you got dozens of pieces of receipt paper. Now it's all in your phone, and you can just see because, when your races were, because you see what time the text came in, and it's pretty cool. So it's a good feature that Lifetime's working on. I think eventually it'll roll over into all of the racing. So even in a long race, you'll get a recap text. I know
Live RC used to do that when you came off the driver's stand through your practice runs, you get a text. It just fell through the cracks. He used to have a pretty cool thing like that.
I think it's going to come back. Speed Zombie, what's up? How are you? Some faces and names that we haven't seen in a while. Well, Charlie, that's about all I got right now. Anything else worth entertaining?
Shout out to Paul Lemieux. If you guys want to know a legend in the industry, Paul Lemieux is the man. He calls me up every once in a while to check on me to make sure I'm not going crazy. And it's nice to hear from Paul every once in a while. So support Motive if you can. He's a good guy.
Did Paul chime in here? Or
no, not at all.
Oh, there's
thinking of Paul.
A perfect example of, one of the world's best racers take his passion for the hobby and move it into the business side of the hobby. He started his company Gravity RC, and then started the Motive motor and battery line, and has just done a fantastic job with both companies, and he has kept the same respectful attitude he's had throughout the years in the run of his business, and it's really
he was when Novak made their announcement that they were shutting down, he was the very first person to call me, and he's like, you need some money? I'll send you a check right now and we'll deal with it later because you just lost your job.
Yeah, he's
thanks, Paul.
Yeah, he's a good guy for sure. Yeah, Bob has just posted what the live time. He just posted it here in the chat exactly what you get.
Whoa. Hold on. What's Bob's last name?
I have no idea.
What? I feel like I'm going to swear if I try to pronounce that.
I know. It's one of them.
Type it phonetically for us, Bob.
Yeah.
Lifetime drag results.
Loaded chain?
I guess his real name's Sheehan, and that's just his screen name.
I'm thinking, yes.
Yeah. But that's plenty of information. You get your reaction time, your 60-foot time, your trap speeds, and your overall ET and whether you win or lost.
Yeah, it works out.
It's like a real drag race shit.
Yeah, it's awesome. So we've talked a lot about drag racing, but it's what's in the industry right now. And I got excited about it last year. I went to Sergio and some guys were running here in Milwaukee at one of the park and ride lots. It's like, wow, this is pretty cool. It was a little scary too because they had guys with these Arma 6S cars that kind of didn't know what they were doing, and you had to watch your ankles because there were just cars coming from everywhere.
Pro tip: stand behind the drivers, bro.
Side of the track,
really, not safe.
Didn't matter where you were standing because they just were out of control.
They race them back at themselves too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You make the pass down the track, then they turn them around and run back at you. That was rule number 1 I said on Sunday at our drag race. I don't care what happens. You run it down, you turn left and exit and drive it off the track back at it, so we didn't have anybody getting hurt. Well, Charlie, I want to thank you for joining us here. I'm sure this is going to be a regular thing for the Scotty and Charlie show. See how I did that first? Because for so many years when we did the Charlie and Scotty show on Live RC, you always got first billing. And now
I mean, you did download this app, so I guess you could put your name first if you want to.
Well, it's worked out. It worked out really well, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing stories and everything like that. And everybody that has chimed in here. This was our first official kind of broadcast that we've done, and enjoyable just having a chat, talk about the history of racing, what's going on these days, and I hope to do it again soon. So, Charlie, thanks for joining us. We'll do it again at another time, and everybody that's joined us, thank you very much. Make sure you on the YouTube, click the bell for notifications and like the page and all that kind of good stuff. Thumbs up really helps us out, and you can hopefully build this up to be something really, really cool. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. And until next time, that will be us signing off for This Week in RC. On behalf of Scotty, Charlie, we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.